Hello, Irenka's away this week, so you're stuck with me in just a solo episode. Let's see how we cope. So I'm sitting in a half-built room, staring at a screen, trying to turn 8 years of chaos, travel and adventure into something that might actually help people. So today I wanted to pull back the curtain just a little bit, and the book Mothership Adrift, A Parent's Guide to Escaping the Rat Race, is supposed to launch in May. That's 3 months away, and I thought it might be interesting to show you where it actually is right now and what the process has been like. So right now I'm working with a developmental editor called Martina Tyrrell. Martina is a cruiser herself who's returned to land, and she's now based in Spain. And she works with cruisers, most recently Elena of La Vagabond, and her book Vagabond Kids. They're quite famous on YouTube. So Martina fully gets the whole thing, which helps a lot. So we do our editing meetings over Zoom, which is quite funny when you think about it. 8 years ago, we were sailing around with intermittent internet, no real plans. Now I'm sitting here scheduling Zoom calls with my editor in Spain, training AI protocols to proofread my grammar and working to newspaper deadlines. It's the same life, really, just unrecognizable, I suppose. Anyway, we're currently editing step 2 at the moment, which is all about addressing objections and excuses people make when they're about to set off. Because when people hear about what we did, sailing around the world for 8 years with 3 kids, the response is rarely, "Oh, that sounds great." It's usually, but what about school? But what about money? But what about friends? So I've decided to call this chapter Butt Kicking. And those are legitimate questions, obviously. So the book is actually answering them properly and not just waving them away. The education chapter, people assume if you take your kids out of school, you've ruined their futures. But as you know, our eldest Rowan got offered a scholarship in a Canadian college, but turned it down to pursue a luxury hospitality career. The point being, world schooling didn't close doors. If anything, it opened them up. That's the type of thing I'm working on now, just making sure every objection is addressed with actual evidence and anecdotes, and not just wishful thinking, because I don't want the book to be just about selling fantasy. It's about giving people the real information they need to make their own decisions. One of the biggest challenges has been keeping an authentic voice. Early drafts, I'm not going to lie, sounded a bit rough and ready around the edges or too full of technical jargon. So I created an AI protocol and style guide in Claude and trained it to keep me within certain working boundaries, to correct the grammar, obviously, where necessary, but also to stop me rambling on or straying too far into sailing and technical jargon. I mean, this is supposed to be a guide for the novice with plenty of anecdotes taken from our own adventure and not a technical manual. It sounds a bit OTT using AI for this sort of thing, but it really does help when it works, obviously. I spent a whole day yesterday just battling with the protocol with, let's say, mixed results. The goal is that when people read the book, it should feel like it's like a pub conversation, really. Telling readers how we actually did this thing. Not giving a lecture, not selling a dream, just having an honest conversation. We're 3 months out from launch. I've finished the editing on 2 out of the 5 chapters. And in between all that, I've also, obviously, recording of these podcasts, being a parent, fixing up the house after 8 years of tenants and total neglect. Also, the underlying pressure of earning money. Irenka's got a gardening job at the moment. I'm sure she'll tell you all about that another time. I've been writing commissioned articles. Actually, my latest piece about sailing the Red Sea is about to be published on the Telegraph's travel section on the 9th of February, which happens to be Irenka's birthday. So that's a bit of nice timing. I'm not really panicking, not much, because even though it's tight, I genuinely believe this book will help people. And that's what's keeping me going, the idea that some families out there are sitting around the kitchen table probably right now, wondering if they can do something like we did. And in a few months, they'll have an actual guide to help them figure it all out. I sometimes look over our old videos and feel like screaming advice through the screen at the 2 idiot newbies sat there, setting out with their kids the time, the money, the aggravation we could have saved with the benefit of hindsight. And I guess that's why I'm writing this. It's for people like we were 8 years ago, about to set off in this amazing adventure, but totally oblivious to what lay ahead. Look, I know that there are loads of sailing books out there, and most of them are either look at our amazing adventure or technical manuals about nav systems and routes around the world. This book is neither. It's specifically for parents who've thought about doing something like this, but don't actually know if it's possible. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We had our hard days, as you know, really hard days sometimes, days when the kids were fighting, the engine was broken, and I genuinely questioned whether we'd made a terrible mistake.
But it does feel like we're just always things going wrong, and we're very low at the moment, and we're just not really sure how, what to do next, really.
But we also had days that were extraordinary, so completely outside the normal human experience that I still can't believe we got to live them. So this book is my attempt, anyway, to show both sides. The logistics, the costs, the education solutions, the shopping trips, which are always entertaining, but also why it's worth doing, why it changed us, and why we do it again. If even one family reads this and thinks, actually, maybe we could do this, or actually, that sounds like a nightmare, then all of this, the late night edits and the stress will have been worth it, right? It's probably enough behind the scenes book talk for now. Next week, Irenka will be back and we'll get into, honestly, I'm not quite sure at the moment, probably money. Actually, I think, maybe we'll talk money, seeing as that was one of the hot topics of conversation in the comments after our recent media exposure. Or maybe we'll just see where the conversation goes. Quick reminder, if you're a Captain's Table member on Patreon, you'll be getting early access to these book chapters and be able to read the work in progress, leave feedback, and basically be part of the book before it launches. I'll give you more details on that in the coming weeks. I still haven't quite worked out the logistics yet, still getting my head around the technology. And the book launches in May 2026. I think I've already mentioned that, hopefully. 3 months to go. Let's see if I can pull this off. Anyway, thanks for listening. See you next week with Irenka when the Wanderer returns. She just can't keep still, that woman. Bye for now.